Okay, before I start this video, I'm just gonna put out a warning to all the, Jackie fans out there, because for this particular fanfiction between Charlie and Octavia, it is a ship. I'm just gonna say that it is a ship, a romantic one, and, for that reason, Vaggie sort of has to be out of the picture, so if you can guess where I'm going with this, I am so sorry if people get mad about this fanfiction, because it is shipping Octavia and Charlie, and maybe that is weird to some people, but for me, I thought it was a cute idea. I don't know, but anyways, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna shut the fuck up and just get on with it. I think this is technically part 2, but anyways. Here we go. Chapter 2, Extermination Day, Part 1. But why do I have to stay inside tonight? Octavia asked in annoyance. Stella had just told her about the extermination that would be coming that night. Octavia had grown up hearing about them, but she had never once witnessed them herself. Up until now, she thought that they were just some make-believe story, the kind that was meant to serve as a warning to young children, so that they might learn to behave. Stella had used them quite often whenever Octavia did something she wasn't supposed to do, and she had described every detail so graphically that it had caused Octavia to have terrible nightmares, and the only thing that would calm her down was her father's singing. Stolas knew that it was his wife's fault, and he blamed her for it too. As always, Stella denied any wrongdoing, and she rather blamed Octavia for the whole ordeal, even going as far as to say that the girl had a simple, easy mind, and she was weak compared to Stella. The moment Octavia's name crept out of Stella's mouth, Stolas lost it. The fight was horrifying, to say the least. Octavia would rather not remember it. It was the worst fight they'd ever had. "Because you'll die if you do, you stupid bitch," Stella told her. "Do you really think I want my only daughter to die? And the only heir to the Guisha throne, no less. You're alive for a reason, you know." Stolas' eye twitched at Stella's words. He didn't appreciate her bringing his daughter into all of this. What really ticked him off was the fact that she was so comfortable talking about their arranged marriage so openly. Octavia had no idea what had happened between the two of them, or why they had become a family. He knew well enough that she wanted to believe her parents had fallen deeply in love with one another, and that was why they were married. She never wanted to believe that money or fame was involved. "Stella," Stolas warned, biting his tongue. He was trying very hard not to give in to temptation and spout his usual nonsense and insults at her, out of anger. Fighting was not the answer, and he knew better than that. "I know, Mom. I've heard the story millions of times," Octavia said. "You've told me everything before. But what if it's not as bad as you think it is? Besides, I can't stay inside the palace forever, you know." "Dad..." She looked at her father pleadingly. The two of them were not on the best terms right now, but she had a feeling that he might agree with her or even support her ideas. "Don't look at your father while I'm talking to you," Stella scolded her, turning her attention away from Stolas. "I'm only doing this because I care for you, darling. The Guisha family is nothing without you. Our entire existence is all for naught if you cannot survive." "What does that mean?" Octavia asked, confused by her mother's words. It sounded serious, and it was beginning to worry her. She had always suspected that there was something terrible happening between her parents, and if her theory was correct, she may have been right after all. "Dad, what is she talking about?" "Stella, if you dare utter a word to our daughter about our situation, I swear to Satan, I will..." "Do what?" Stella laughed. "You can't do anything. You are nothing, Stolas. You never have been, and it's high time you've accepted that." "What is it?" Octavia asked as her mother continued to laugh. "It's not funny. What are you saying? What is this about?" "Yes, Stolas," Stella continued, looking directly at him with a smug expression on her face. "Tell our daughter what you did, how you ruined this family, how you ruined my life because of a stupid fucking arranged marriage." "Dad, what is she talking about?" Octavia asked, sounding scared as well as confused. "Oh, Via, I'm so sorry," Stolas cried softly as he tried to explain. "Your mother and I didn't marry for love. We married because of you. We were put together also that Stella might bear the precautionary heir to the Goetia family. You weren't a product of, well, our love. All at once, it seemed as if the world had stopped completely, and the shock of realization hit Octavia like a brick wall. She had always known that there was something off about her parents' relationship, but she never could have expected this. Nothing felt real anymore. Was she truly the cause of their arranged marriage? And what of her? Was that all that she was then? A mere tool to be used because the rest of the Goetia family were afraid? And if all of this was true, then what was she? What does this mean? Octavia asked, her voice trembling with confusion. She gazed up at both of her parents. Stolas was looking away, ridden with guilt, while Stella smirked in satisfaction. As her realization deepened by the second, she suddenly stood up straight, a look of anger coming over her face. "I knew it!" she cried. "You don't love each other, and you don't even love me!" Without another word, she ran out of her room, leaving a distraught Stolas alone with Stella. "Via, no!" Stolas cried. He turned to Stella in anger. "You fucking witch! How could you say such a thing to our daughter? Now she feels as if it's her fault we were never in love to begin with." "Oh, don't be so dramatic, Stolas," Stella said, rolling her eyes in disgust. "The little shit was bound to find out anyway, and it was high time she learned the true meaning of her existence. And for fuck's sake, don't start blaming her for everything when you know damn well that everything is your fault." "My fault?" Stolas repeated in disbelief. "Stella, we have been over this time and time again. You know well enough that none of this was my doing. And Via's existence, do you even hear yourself? It is one thing to speak badly about me, but don't you dare speak an ill word about my daughter." "Your daughter? I gave birth to her, you ignorant cunt," Stella screeched, her temper starting to show through again. "This has gone far enough, Stella," Stolas warned her, looking at her seriously. "I won't allow you to make such hateful lies about Via anymore. I have tolerated you for long enough, but nothing is ever good enough for you. I think it's high time you left this place. I want you out." "What do you mean, out?" Stella asked, becoming more and more furious with each passing second. "I mean out," Stolas repeated. "Out of this palace, out of my life. We are getting the divorce. How dare you?" Stella shouted. "What do you think the rest of the Goetia family will think?" And Drelphus, she raised her hand to stop Stolas, but he grabbed her wrist to keep things from getting violent. "I don't care what your arrogant brother thinks," Stolas said. "You and I were arranged for a reason, to birth a precautionary heir, nothing more. And the only thing the Goetia family wanted from this marriage is already 17, so it's over. I'm done." "Fine," Stella said, releasing her arm from Stolas' grasp and turning away from him. "I have no desire to stay in the presence of a traitorous embarrassment. You have fallen from what little grace you had, and I know you'll pay for it." And with that, she walked out of the room. Stolas, now all alone, sighed sadly. He thought only of Octavia and where she might have ended up by now. As he pondered how to handle the situation with Octavia, he began to sing. It was the same lullaby he sung to her when she was a little owlet. The song that Stolas is singing is "You Will Be Okay," and I have already done a cover of this on my channel, so I guess you guys can either imagine this playing in Hell of a Boss, or you can imagine my singing, whichever one you want to do, but I'm not going to sing it again for the purpose of, just I've already done a cover of it, and so, yeah. Anyways, on the last lyric, his eyes filled with tears as he thought of her out there all alone. What was he to do now? He couldn't just go out there on his own to try and find her. He had no idea where she had gone, and he had no way of finding it out either. To do that, he would have to find clues to where she may have gone and try to follow a trail of some sort. But it was highly likely that she was gone by now. Moreover, he was quite sure she wanted nothing to do with him now that he had revealed the truth to her after so many years of lying. He might have better luck if he had any friends to call upon. Unfortunately, he had none. but there had to be someone. Octavia was in grave danger if he didn't get her back inside safely. Suddenly he gasped. There was only one person he could always rely on whenever he was in trouble. He took out his phone and pulled up Blitz's contact, immediately pressing the call button. "Where's it now, Stolas?" Blitz asked, clearly annoyed at being called yet again by the royal demon. "I'm busy with a client." "Blitz, there's no time for this," Stolas said. "Via's in trouble." "Wait, what?" Blitz's tone suddenly became more serious. It wasn't often that he heard Stolas be solemn for once. He was usually flirting with him the moment he picked up the phone. Blitz wasn't inclined to believe that Stolas was being fully serious, but he had to admit that it was unnerving that no sex jokes had been made in the first few seconds of this conversation. "Stolas, what's happening?" "The extermination," Stolas told him, worry in his voice, "and Octavia's out there all alone. Please, Blitz. I know you're busy, and I understand that, but this is important. Via means more to me than anything else in the world. I need your help." Blitz felt another wave of unease flow through him at the sound of clear distress in Stolas' voice. While he didn't know a lot about Stolas personally, he had seen plenty of pictures of him and Octavia all over Stolas' room during the times they had hung out together. He knew that the Goetia prince cared a lot for Octavia. Blitz glanced up at one of his own pictures in the office. It was a picture of him and his own daughter Luna, though he could never be bothered to say it out loud. He loved Luna just about as much as Stolas loved his own daughter. He sighed and turned his attention back to the phone call. "Then let's not waste any time here," he said. "Hey, M&M." Melly walked in, guiding her sleepy husband to the office behind her. "Blitz, it is much too late at night for this," Moxie complained, rubbing his eyes sleepily. He yawned. "Yeah, Mox and I were about to go to bed," Millie agreed. "Oh, you sentimental fucks still asleep?" Blitz asked. "Don't push it, Blitz," Moxie warned, while Millie gave him a comforting smile. "Look, Stolas is in trouble, and I'm gonna need you two to come with me on this mission," Blitz explained. "His daughter is lost out there, and he needs help finding her. I'm gonna go find Stolas while you two start searching for Octavia. And make it quick, because I had another client lined up for us." "We're taking calls this late at night?" Moxie asked in surprise. "Do you ever sleep?" There was a hint of worry in his voice. There might all be a bunch of demons in hell, but everyone needed sleep, even down here. Sometimes Moxie felt concerned for Blitz. Did the guy ever take proper care of himself? "Do you ever stop talking?" Blitz countered. "Oh, and don't wake Luna up with your loud mouth. Mox, my baby needs her rest if she's going to show up for work tomorrow morning." "We'll get on it right quick," Millie said. "Come on, baby." She kissed Moxie's cheek and led him away with his hands in hers. Blitz took the car while Moxie and Millie headed in the opposite direction. He noticed that his hands had started shaking as he was driving. Wait, was he actually concerned for Stolas? But there was absolutely no reason for him to be. The bird didn't care about him. And yet Blitz had found himself to start caring a little for him. He shook his head and brushed the thoughts away as he tried to focus on the task at hand. All he had to do was find the stupid bird's daughter, and then he could go back to IMP. Not that he had all that much to do anyway, but he would rather be back home wasting away watching trash TV than out in the thick of the extermination. There was a reason he had been able to survive for this long. Meanwhile, Octavia had already run far away from the palace. She stopped to catch her breath after a while and was surprised by a spear flying past her into the head of a demon trying desperately to run and find a proper hiding place. But no place was safe when you were in the heat of the extermination. Octavia ignored the chaos happening around her and took her phone out. She knew exactly who she could rely on now. She couldn't believe it. She was angry beyond all logic. I mean, how could they? Both of them. How could she be blamed for their marriage? Was she truly the only reason their family was created in the first place? And why hadn't neither one of her parents tried to tell her this beforehand? It was just unfair. "Charlie, are you awake right now?" Octavia asked as soon as she called her friend. "Via?" Charlie answered sleepily. "What's the matter now?" She sat up and yawned. It's better if you hear the story in person," Octavia said. "Is it your dad again?" Charlie asked. Octavia cried out, in surprise as another spear flew past her and more demons were killed by the angelic weapon. Wait, are you outside? During the extermination? Okay, I'm on my way. Don't move. I mean, hide. Just don't move from your safe place, okay? I'll come find you. The call ended abruptly as Charlie immediately jumped up from her bed. Charlie, are you there? Octavia asked, hearing the dial tone. Hello? Fuck. She sighed and looked around her. There were exorcists surrounding every possible escape, and there were no safe hiding places. Thankfully, it seemed as though none of them were paying any attention to her. She started walking away, hoping to find somewhere far enough away from the fight where she wouldn't be at too much of a risk. She could see why Stella wanted her to stay inside. She wondered if that taxidermy shop she liked was still open at a time like this, and maybe some of the other stores might still be open. She could at least try and take her mind off things there for the time being while she waited for Charlie to show up. Stop right there, demon filth. Octavia turned at the sound of an unfamiliar female voice. She turned around to see two exorcist angels. One of them was wearing the mask they always wore to cover up their faces. Octavia wasn't exactly sure why they did that, probably to keep their identities a secret, although she thought that was a bit excessive since if the people they were killing saw their true faces, even once, it wouldn't matter after they were killed. The other angel had taken her mask off, revealing glowing yellow eyes, purple skin, and pure white hair that was cut short. You want to take this one, Vaggie? The masked exorcist asked, putting her arm around hers as if they were old friends, and they probably were. The other angel looked nervous and hesitant. Lute, should we really be doing this? The angel named Vaggie asked. I mean, it's a child. Who cares how old it is? Lute cackled. Her tone was nothing short of malicious. It was quite clear what her intentions were. Just kill the damn thing already. Octavia started to back away nervously while Vaggie looked at her terrified eyes. I won't, Vaggie said solemnly, her face becoming serious. Then I will, Lute said. To Octavia's horror, she launched herself at the princess without holding back. No! Vaggie cried out as she flew in front of Lute and blocked her path. Octavia stood still, stunned by the kind act from this angel. Should she move? Run? She had no time to think as Lute turned to Vaggie, her voice filled with rage. You little traitor, she growled. No, Vaggie started and then screamed in pain as Lute used her spear to cut out her eye, as well as cut off her wings. Lute jumped on top of her and started hitting her with all her might. Get off me! Vaggie was able to push Lute off her, and the two began going at each other. The sight of them made Octavia even more nervous. Her breathing was becoming uneven as she started to panic, combined with the fear that one of them might take the other out, or they would come for her next. Came the uncertainty of the outcome of their altercation. Octavia's eyes began to glow, and she began to feel something that she had never felt before. Both of you, stop it! She yelled, causing them both to look her way. Once they did, they immediately turned to stone in midair. Both came crashing to the ground and shattered into a million pieces. Octavia gasped in complete shock. Oh no. What have I done? She walked over to one of the pieces and recognized it as the one who stood up for her and saved her. She picked it up, gazing gratefully at its pretty face. Thank you for saving me, Octavia said softly. You were a true angel today, and I won't forget about you. I promise. Via, what happened here? She turned around to see Charlie standing there. Suddenly, Charlie noticed the pile of broken pieces of stone on the ground. What the hell is that? You don't want to know, Octavia said. Shall we go now? Yes, right away, Charlie said. Are you hurt? Did none of the angels get you? No, Octavia told her. I'm perfectly all right. Okay, good. Come on. I have something I want to show you. It's amazing. I know you'll love it. She started leading Octavia away from the fight when they were interrupted by a familiar male voice. Hey, are you two okay? Both of them turned around to see two small imps standing there looking at them. Max, I think we found him, Millie said. Sweetie, your daddy's looking for you. He's really worried, you know. Well, tell him I'm not coming home, Octavia said. If they want to continue arguing because of me, that's fine. But I'm going with Charlie, and I'm not coming back. Come on, Charlie said. Let's get you out of here before the exorcists see. And with that, she led Octavia away from the two imps. Oh, crumbs. Now what? Moxie asked, looking defeated. I guess we go tell the boss, Millie said. She looked really upset. I wonder what happened. Upon hearing the bad news, Stolas retreated to his room to be alone. Stella was glad to leave him behind as well. He wasn't angry with Blitz. As a matter of fact, he felt that seeing the little imp might be the only thing that would bring his spirits up at least a little. And so he called Blitz over despite it not being the full moon yet. Stolas was willing to cut the time short at a trying time like this, and Blitz was happy to fuck Stolas if it meant he got to keep the Grimoire for even longer, and use it on even more missions for his clients. Octavia had gone to live with Charlie, and had promised herself that she would never look back again. This has been Chapter 2 of When Twilight Starfire Met the Morning Star, and Octavia and Charlie fanfiction. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in part 3. Bye.